What's going on, everybody? If you're seeing this page, that means the official Torian Rain Reloaded merch store is now available. To get access to the store, make sure you go ahead and click the store tab on my YouTube channel. From there, you will be able to see all the merch that is available. We have mugs, shirts, hoodies, joggers, and so much more to come. All original designs made by yours truly, Torian Rain Reloaded. Now go ahead and get your merch today, and you can feel nothing in style.
Mims talks about what he remembers from this incident and how his students reacted. And we're also hearing from both school districts, Birmingham City Schools and Jefferson County. Days after getting tased and arrested by Birmingham police, Minor High School's band director, Johnny Mims, is speaking out.
My whole goal was just try to just understand why they were pulling me or grabbing me.
Birmingham's police chief allowed release of this body cam video of the controversial arrest. The department says after the Jackson Olin and Minor game ended last week, officers told Mims to quiet his band, but he refused. Get out my face! Get out my face!
There was one officer directly in front of my face, which I thought was very threatening to me.
During the arrest, Mims was tased 3 times.
I can't even remember after that point because I was so stunned and so baffled. All I remember is hearing all of my students screaming, all of the parents crying. I mean, it was a horrifying situation.
Jefferson County school leaders watched the video before the public. Superintendent Walter Gonsolin said it was sad to watch. He adds, "It's extremely upsetting to me that our students, our children, had to witness that scene."
I heard we've had students that had to be sent to the hospital. The EMT had to be sent out because kids were having panic attack.
Mims' attorney says this incident happened during the 5th quarter. It's where bands battle it out from the stands.
It's a very popular time during the football seasons amongst bands. It's almost like a battle of the band.
Birmingham City Schools says as a safety precaution, 5th quarter performances are not allowed, and that high school bands in BCS are instructed to exit the stadium at the end of football games. Jefferson County schools tell us counselors will be made available at Minor High School for students who witnessed this. The superintendent will not comment any further on the specifics of this video because it's still under investigation. As for Birmingham City Schools, they tell me their investigation is over. The superintendent and the BCS security staff reviewed their videos and saw that they tried their best to calm the situation. We're live in Jefferson County. I'm Magdala Lusant, WVTM 13.
So y'all just heard that audio right there, and I can honestly say without the shadow of a doubt, I am not in the least bit shocked or surprised by what I just heard. Now, as a person who went to an HBCU, the band, it plays a huge part when it comes to games, especially football games. Sometimes the band is the best part. A lot of people can't wait for the halftime show so they can see what the band is going to actually perform. And then, of course, you have the whole battle of the bands, which is basically, as it states, a battle of the bands to see who the best band in the land is based on HBCUs, because that's mainly who goes to these competitions and pretty much thrive there, might I add. But when I saw this, when I looked at it, it looked like a humiliation ritual. If you looked at the pictures that I pulled, this is all from body cam footage, from what you saw right here, minus some other pictures that I kind of threw in there, including the mug shot and everything. And I'm looking at this man's mug shot. I said, he looks defeated. He looks very defeated when I'm seeing this right here. And then also when he was talking about how some of the kids there were having panic attacks because they probably never experienced something like this ever in their life. Of course, you always see it on television, but to actually experience it is something else completely different entirely. Now, that was just like a 2.5-minute audio clip, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read this article that's coming from NPR that's gonna go into more detail. And ironically, this article came out the same day as this news clip did. I'm not going to incorporate the body cam footage because I believe that there is body cam footage that details the entire ordeal, and it's like 8 minutes long, but I'm not going to put it in here for obvious reasons. But I will pin it down or put it in the description if you do so want to see that. I'll understand completely if you don't, but it is there just in case you do want to watch it. What began as a routine band performance of Talking Out the Side of Your Neck by Cameo at an Alabama high school football game ended in a troubling confrontation when a police officer tased the marching band director for refusing to stop the music. And let me just tell you, that Talking Out the Side of Your Neck, that's a prominent song that is played at a lot of, especially about a lot of black bands. Because when I was in college, my band used to, the college band that was attached to the school I used to go to, used to play that song a lot. The altercation occurred Thursday around 9 p.m. local time after a game at Jackson Olin High School in Birmingham, Alabama. It's a lot of stories coming out of Alabama lately. Minor high school band director Johnny Mims, age 39, and his ensemble of 145 students were about a minute away from being done with their final song when a police officer approached the podium. According to both Mims and the Birmingham Police Department, officers asked Mims to stop the performance so they could clear out the stadium. Mims responded that the song was about to end and that the performance was agreed on by both schools. Nothing we were doing at the time was being a danger to the community, fans, or the school, Mims told NPR on Monday. Everyone was enjoying themselves. That's the part I'm having a time grappling with. As the students finished their performance, officers attempted to arrest Mims for not complying. Police said the band director, quote unquote, refused to place his hands behind his back and allegedly pushed an arresting officer. But Mims said he was simply caught off guard, adding that it was difficult to see who was grabbing him because the stadium's lights went out. Moments later, an officer pulled out a stun gun and tased Mims. Birmingham police said it happened once, but Mims insists he was tased up to 3 times. The entire confrontation was witnessed by dozens of students, parents, and faculty members. On Tuesday, the Birmingham Police Department released body-worn camera footage of the incident, which I briefly just talked to you about a couple minutes ago. Mims was sent to the hospital, which police said was standard protocol after this type of incident. When Mims was discharged, he was taken to jail on charges of disorderly conduct, harassment, and resisting arrest. Mims returned home Friday on bail. Wandalyn Given, a lawyer for Mims, called the incident an alarming abuse of power and called for the officers involved in the incident to be put on administrative leave until further investigation. She added that Mims plans to take legal action against the police department. This case highlights the urgent need for police reform, training, and protection of every citizen's rights, Given said. The Birmingham Police Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but on Friday, the department said in a statement that its internal affairs division investigates all incidents where an officer uses force during an arrest. Based on how I'm reading this right now, I have a feeling that this is probably not going to go anywhere. Because the more and more I'm reading it, I'm playing it out in my head that it's not going to go very far. I'll be shocked if it does, but I have the strongest feeling that it's not going to go further than where it is right now. It's not going to go, in my opinion, as far as they would like for it to go, or as how far as I would like for it to go. And I'm looking at the images like from the body cam footage, and I'm noticing that the people that are arresting him are black cops. It is sending me way back to early January of this year with Tyree Nichols. Only this one had a much different outcome because he's still alive. Days later, the altercation continues to draw anger from across the country, with some questioning the use of force and others reeling from what they saw firsthand Thursday night or on video circulated across social media. Mims has been a band director at Minor High since 2018. He credits his passion for music to his teachers who introduced him to the violin, cello, and saxophone. That's why he pursued music education and became a teacher. Mims is still recovering physically from the arrest. He said he continues to be haunted by the incident, specifically seeing his students scream and cry as he was tased. I'm a Christian guy and I'm called to forgive, but this situation makes me more apprehensive about the police, he said. You may not know what their intentions might be even when you're doing something positive. Mims added that he is on administrative leave with pay as part of protocol while the school district investigates what happened. Walter Gonsolin, superintendent of Jefferson County Schools, said in a statement, I am in the process of gathering all the facts and feel it would be inappropriate to comment until further that process is complete. Comment further until that process is complete. I urge everyone not to jump to conclusions. Well, it's kind of hard not to. Tasers are among the most common use of force in police departments, according to the FBI, but there is very little data on the federal or local level of how often they are deployed or turn fatal. A Reuters analysis from 2020 documented that more than 1,000 cases of deaths related to police use of tasers because they used it for too long. They basically shocked the person to death. Largely between 2000 and 2018, and found that black Americans were disproportionately impacted. Now that I do believe, without the shadow of a doubt. But yeah, that's messed up what they did to this man, all because they felt like he wasn't wrapping up his set fast enough for them. And this is something that happens often, not him getting tased. I'm talking about with the band playing like they are. If, like I said, if you go to a school like that, whether you have attended the school or you just go to a game, this typically happens. And don't let it be a rival school, because then you really going to hear it a lot. And if you sit near the band, you're going to get a whole show. You're going to get a full concert. But that's messed up because, like I said, he's got traumatized by this because this happened to him. But he said that his students were also traumatized as well. And you can tell that he really cares about his students because he brought them up. Granted, yes, he was the one on the receiving end as far as the altercation goes, but he still cared about his students at the end of the day, of them having to witness that. That's something that's not going to leave their mind for as long as they live. Like, they're always going, something is always going to trigger back to this moment right here. They will never forget this for the rest of their time at the school and as they go on through life. Again, like I said in the beginning, typically they'll see something like this on social media, or they'll hear about it on TV or wherever they can see it, or, you know, online somewhere. But to actually be in the moment and actually witness this, let alone, God forbid, it happening to you, is a whole nother monster and a beast to deal with. And he's not going to forget it either. But peep how they said they got him on harassment and resisting arrest, and it was another charge that escapes me of what they said. How many times have we seen the usual suspects do way worse and they don't get hit with those kinds of charges? That like I said, we are living in two different establishments. But I'm glad that this guy is alive. I'm glad he survived, because this could have turned, they could have went and grabbed the other gun, the one that if you shoot it off, depending on where you get hit, you ain't coming back from that. And I'm glad they actually and that NPR implemented about the taser part at the end, that said that people have died from that, again because they left the they left the taser in for too long, and it shocks the body and it probably goes to the heart, and the person probably dies from maybe a heart attack or something like that, or some other vital organ getting affected from that taser being in their body for too long, or they have it jolted up so high that it pretty much shocks the person, it pretty much electrocutes them, if you really think about it, to death. And he said that he did not get tased just one time. He said it was definitely about 3 times, and he can easily prove that by just saying where he got tased at on the body, because the marks will be there. But we'll see how far it goes. But I'm gonna be quite honest, and this is not me saying, you know, being a doubter about it. I hope it goes the way that it should, but look at where we live at, and this happened in Alabama too. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that while there's a sliver of maybe some, you know, possibility that it could go the way that it should, it's a massive percentage wise that it probably will go the way that it usually does. And that's the way that it should not go.